Hi, everyone. Welcome to my much anticipated AI workflow 101 Hello World example. I'm promising people you can actually do this very quickly. And so we're going to try to go fast in this video to just prove that point to get up and running. I personally like n8n, n8n, this n8n.io is the name of the website. Obviously, you'll have to click get started and then sign in to create your account. Does have a free trial. The pricing is $20 a month. I do recommend this just to understand how to use it. And then eventually you can migrate up to higher paid tiers. I will tell you, you will actually wind up proving to yourself that this is worth the money for how much time you will wind up saving based on project that you migrate. And pretty much what adds from here to here is the number of what's called active workflows. And we'll get into that in later sessions, but really just to get going, you use your free trial and then do the starter version. Okay. Once you log in, the first place this is what you're going to see. Okay. This workflow in your personal space here. It's going to be add first step. Okay. What these first steps are, is it's always a trigger. Something has to happen on the internet for this workflow to start. Could be within n8n itself, like every hour I want you to do something, or you can actually set up a chat within n8n, which is what we're actually going to do for this example. But generally, the way you're going to really automate workflows is called webhooks. Webhook, you can just think as if you went to a website, if you call that a webhook, actually going to a website in the URL address, that's a webhook. And in response for the webhook, they send back HTML and your browser displays HTML. In the case of n8n, it's going to go to the website, if you will, and it does something. And instead of returning an HTML page, it just took action and it finishes out. Okay. So you're going to a website to trigger an action, but it's all happened behind the scenes. Okay. All right. Very simply, first step, what you need is a trigger. In this case, we're going to use the chat trigger, which is internal to n8n. Effectively, what we're going to do here is make a ChatGPT, but inside ChatGPT, right? The chat part, right? But we're going to use GPT. So you click on chat. This always pops up. You can make it publicly available if you want later on. I don't recommend it, but you have to do nothing else for the settings. Next, n8n is beautiful because it has this concept of an AI workflow. Click on the plus box, which you're sending a workflow, and you type AI agent. Okay. All right. An AI agent will pump up with the default for what you're trying to do right now. Works out of the box. You don't have to touch anything. Later, you might change user prompts, things like that. But you're really saying the chat is the prompt. And since it's directly connected to a chat, you don't have to do anything else. This is the coding that I've been alluding to on the forums. We'll explain it later. You don't have to understand it for it to work right now. So it just works. Great. Next, a chat model. This is arguably the hardest part, in my opinion. Great news is once you do it one time, it's click. Like for me to actually do it, since I'm already set up, I'm going to click OpenAI chat model and I'm actually set up. However, since I assume that you have not done this before, you would not be working right away and you're going to have to create credentials here. Okay. And so you're going to have this drop down of create new credential. Okay. Everything's filled out except for the API key, this little star. That's what you need to enter. Everything else is basic for OpenAI. You start to get more fancy on things like the government cloud services side of the internet, you're going to have to change the base URLs because they don't go to the same place, but all the communication works thereafter. So let's talk about how to get the API key. And by the way, if you don't follow me, you can actually click the AI assistant here and it will tell you how to get the AI key, the API, just application protocol interface. Okay. So you actually have to go to OpenAI, but the platform.openai.com, not chat GPT, but platform.openai.com. Okay. Go there. Most likely you have to create an account there. It should be the same account that matches up to your account that you already have as ChatGPT. I'm going to go to platform.openai.com. And the first place it goes has pricing options. Like, what's the pricing look like? Here's all these pricing. And this is what you need to understand just a little bit. Mini is really nice. And that's what the n8n workflow defaults to this, because it's about 15 cents for the input and 0.0775 cents for 7.5 cents for cache things. It gets expensive if you go up to use these more fancy new models with 4.0 and 1. So just be careful that GPT Mini is pretty good for almost everybody. Okay. All right. So you have to do a few things here. One, you're going to create an API key. Okay. So the way you do that is you click on dashboard, API keys. and then you're going to create a new secret key. I'm going to type test. It's going to, that's it. You type test, n8n or whatever you want to use. It's your own word. You're just choosing it for like when you see all your keys, like you see on my list here, you know which one was for the n8n workflow. So obviously I have my n8n there, but I'm just giving you an example. You have to copy this to clipboard right now. Okay. Once you click done, it's gone forever. You can't see it. It's gone. I will delete mine right now. So nobody copies mine because that is how you get hacked. But all these other ones work for me just fine. Okay. Now you do have to set up billing for this. As I saw you, it's not the same as ChatGPT. It is a different billing line. Okay. So in order to do that, click on the settings up top. Okay. And then you have billing. Okay. You will have to enter your credit card information here. So just set that up. I set mine up to a sort of an auto renew so that it's not forever billing me and it just repurposes it. See this credit balance here? I set that $20. I've been doing this stuff for about, I don't know, 6 months or so. And I've only spent about $20.35 now because that was replenished at $20. It's not crazy if you stay in the mini version. Okay. It's really not costly for what you're trying to do. You have to set that up in order to actually hit the API keys. You can still go to the API keys down here as well, but I already showed you how to do that. In the meantime, while that billing gets set up, you are going to go back to your workflow and you're going to paste the API key right here. Okay. And then if all goes well, you will see a green connection right here. Okay. Tested successfully. That's what you should see. You might already set up. Mine had already been set. Okay. Quite frankly, you now have a Hellow World version. Okay. The way you actually test it, you can save it if you want. Up here is the name of it, the workflow. You can rename it by just clicking in there and changing what you want. Okay. So how do you test it? You go to chat, click the chat button there and say, hello. And what you're going to see is what that's actually doing. This AI agent coordinates with ChatGPT and boom, there's your, how can I assist you today? Guy. And if you go to ChatGPT, you're going to get the same answer pretty much. There is some more fine tuning that ChatGPT itself has done, but that's it. So generally you get the same exact answer. Okay. You can actually see what's going on with these inputs and outputs as you get more into it. But the real thing is the actual chat. So that's a Hello World chat. That's it. Now, crazy thing is if you try to respond to something like, watch this, my name is Sean. Okay. Yeah, like, hi, Sean, something like that, right? Whatever your response was. Okay. And then you could say, what is my name? What you're going to find is, oh, it doesn't know my name anymore. Okay. And that's because every time you actually use this, unlike ChatGPT, this is like setting up a new chat line every time you use it. So n8n has beautifully thought about this, and you can click on this thing called memory. And what's going to come up is a couple options. Just click on Windows Buffer. That's the easiest one. It's a standard default. It automatically ties to what's called your session ID or when you started chatting with it. And it saves the last 5 chats back and forth. So you can ask anything in the last 5 times. Now, what we just did is now added that. Okay. And so now we're going to say, my name is Sean. And you're going to see it go here, try to see if anything's in the buffer. Nothing's in there. It's going to say, great, you're now Sean. Now I can say, now, what is my name? Now, right, what is, and this time it's going to wind up referencing what it said last time, storing that in memory, going out to ChatGPT with that full context, and it's going to say Sean. Great. Where do you see that? Right there. So it remembers the last 5. So we're going to say, okay. We're going to do, okay. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. Now we're going to say, what is my name? And see how far we got. Okay. So it only remembers the last 5. You can change that in settings. And then again, as you get fancier, I don't know what the limitations are. You'll have to play around with that, but you can continue to expand this limitation. Okay. All right. What is this AI agent doing? Okay. I think that's cool. Really, it's just there to send your input to ChatGPT. You receive this prompt. The user prompt is the literal thing you would type into ChatGPT itself. By the way, I'm just explaining things now. Your Hello World's already done. So, and to do the whole setup of the with the API key, you had to create an n8n account. I don't know. You could probably do that all that within 10 minutes, maybe. And you got a Hello World, your own chat version of ChatGPT. But here's some more specifics. Okay. It is sending user message, which is no different than the chat prompt you would do in ChatGPT, except this time it's actually taking the chat input, which if you see over here, chat input was what's my name. And so in this case, it's actually evaluating it down to what's my name. See this little FX means evaluation. You don't have to do that. What you can do is you can predefine it. And now you're typing it as if you were going to prompt it, act as a expert in story writing. Here is, and slowness today, sorry. Here is a topic to write a story. Okay. Now, see how it says fixed right here? It would literally just send this as text. What I want you to do is click on expression as you play around with this more. And this is the same thing, okay, that you just typed act as is, okay. I want you to actually click the little breakout thing there. That way you can see a little bit bigger. And we are going to insert the chat prompt. So we're going to give a topic from the chat prompt and it's going to make a story. Okay. So you come over here and this is where it's coming in. You're going to click it and drag it in there. And there's your code. Okay. So that's what I mean by low code. You knew that this is the thing you want to actually use and then it inputs it in there. And great. It actually shows you how it evaluates on the other side. Blah, blah, blah. This is hard typed in text, right? And then it evaluates the green from the code. Okay. But you didn't have the code. You just had to paste, or you had to drag and drop. Okay. All right. Yeah. So unlike before, it's the same thing. Now I can say birds. So it should write a story about birds, right? One, it always checks its memory to make sure it has anything in there. It's now formulating what's going on and it's going to reach out to its ChatGPT model and form a story about birds. And there it is. I call it the whispering wings, blah, 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 blah. And there's your story. That's about as simple as it gets. I'll do more videos in the future to show you other crazy stuff we could start to do, like getting your email.